WCS Summer 2019, the scene is set. Though we started with 80 players from all around the world, now just 4 remain. For our first semifinal match of the day, our German Terran is looking to make the first grand finals of his StarCraft 2 career, while his opponent, the 17-year-old Italian Zerg, is eager to make his second. Please welcome on stage, it is HeroMarine and Reynor.
Two extremely powerful round of 8 performances from both of these players, and now they will face off against one another in a TvZ to determine who moves on into the grand final for WCS Summer. Best of 5 between our two youngsters to get things going. Gentlemen, joining me, Fear Dragon and Rotterdam, and obviously this matchup is extremely interesting. I feel like both of these guys have a very good opportunity to be able to move into the grand final. I know a lot of people are probably looking at Reynor to be able to get his next grand final appearance. However, HeroMarine could quite easily take it all the way as well.
I mean, they have both had such an interesting route to the finals. HeroMarine has beaten 4 Zergs. That's every single one of his matches has been against Zerg, and he has dropped a single map to Xanser, then he 2-0s a laser, he 3-0s sort of, he 3-0s a laser again later on. And now he's here against arguably one of the best Zerg players, only potentially behind Serral. And HeroMarine is going to be facing off against Reynor, who similarly is also mostly faced off versus Terran players and top ones, Euthermal, Marine Lord, and Special.
Now, I do think in general that hurts the Terran a little bit more than it hurts the Zerg, even though all of those results are really impressive.
Yeah.
I feel like what HeroMarine shows is more useful to Reynor than what Reynor shows to HeroMarine, because Zerg is a lot about scouting and reacting, while Terran is a lot about surprising your opponents, right? And even though Big Gabe on stage did say like, yeah, I have used a lot of different builds and I think I have a few more left. I mean, how many do you truly have, right? Eventually, you're gonna have to recycle a couple of these openings that you're very confident with. So I do think that's a small downside for HeroMarine. The one thing he has definitely going for himself though is that historically he has done incredibly good against Reynor. He's 5-1 against Reynor, and recently, I mean 2 weeks ago, he 3-0'd Reynor at the Home Story Cup.
Yeah, that's a big deal. And to your point, you know, saying that, you know, Terran might be the one that has to kind of surprise. And of course, over in Twitch chat, you can vote as to who you think is going to be victorious here. Moving on into the grand final, will it be HeroMarine, aka Big Gabe, or Reynor getting things done here? So I want to go back to that point here for just a moment. Obviously, you saying Terran is the race that kind of might need to be able to surprise, but do you think that HeroMarine almost kind of has enough solid play to be able to kind of trump that? We see him, you know, with mixing in little styles here and there to be able to kind of overcome that kind of style.
Oh, I do believe it, and I think often you can make things look the same way, but still throw your opponent a curveball. This is something that he did in his previous series against E-Laser. He really made it look like the 2-base all-in on New Repugnancy that he showed before, but this time it was actually like on purpose. He only built depots in the natural, but he built a CC. So he definitely has tricks up his sleeve.
Yeah.
He's well aware of the fact that Reynor has been watching those games as well. He's well aware of the fact that he has shown a lot. It's just one of those things that he has to worry about that normally, if this is your first or second series of the tournament, you don't have to worry about yet. But that doesn't mean we're going to count him out. I mean, HeroMarine has looked incredibly freaking good. On top of that, he seems pretty damn confident against Reynor. So I do absolutely believe that he has more than a fighting shot here.
Yeah, it's so interesting also to see just how like HeroMarine's match versus a laser went, because I feel like a laser was doing a lot of the stuff where he was doing all these Ling run-bys, all the burrow play and everything, and I feel like that's normally stuff that I actually would credit someone like Reynor for. So if it was effective there versus HeroMarine, granted, of course, HeroMarine still got the 3-0 there, but that might be an opportunity here for Reynor to also make something happen. So I really want to see how Reynor's going to play.
You know, one thing that makes me very hopeful for Reynor and all the Reynor fans out there is that the main reason why Reynor got bopped 3-0 by HeroMarine at Home Series Cup is because he refused to make spellcasters. He just
Right.
didn't do it. The only time he ever made Infestors or Vipers were the games where he was 110% super dead already, as we would say. But against Special, hey, look at this, a brand new Reynor. This young man, he's still growing, he's improving tournament from tournament, and suddenly, surprise, surprise, we do see Reynor with spellcasters.
Yeah.
And hey, he beats one of the very best Terran players in the world.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually hearing a lot of the other European players telling me how Reynor was saying after that. He was like, oh my god, I feel like such a dummy. And he was like, I know what to do next time.
Yeah.
And clearly, he does. He's improved.
And that's make this series so much more fun, right? Because
Yeah.
maybe HeroMarine thinks like, Reynor is stubborn and he's just going to do the same thing as he always does. But this time Reynor is like, no, I think this time I've got a better plan. And Reynor is also very confident. He's like, I know what Big Gabe does. He always does the same thing. He just sits back and he wants me to make mistakes. And it's not going to happen this time. So I'm really excited for it. A lot of talk going back and forth. And I mean, both these guys deserve to make a grand final. We know they're capable of it. It should be an awesome series.
Very much so here. And Germany still having 2 representatives in the round of 4. So Big Gabe here alongside Showtime, really representing very, very well. In fact, you know, 4 Europeans for your Dragon.
That is quite a few Europeans, you know. I don't know why you're talking to me, James.
It was just a whisper, you know.
All right.
And beyond that, of course, though, for both of these players, it's a whole other prospect to even potentially take the full thing as a whole. But for now, guys, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. It is time to head over to our round of 4 match. Will German perfection win out, or will Italian style break through?
Thank you very much, guys. Let's get this party started here with the semifinals at the WCS Summer. Starting in the top right-hand side, playing as the blue Terran. He hails from Germany. It is Big Gabe, aka HeroMarine.
The crowd loves Big Gabe, Todd. And spawning over in the bottom left side, playing for Team Gamers Origin. As the Red Zerg, it will be Reynor.
Spam the stallion to help the Italian. It's the word on the street, the Muslim.
And on the this is a real good semifinals, you know, like I feel that Reynor is the first real test for HeroMarine because so far he's just been 3-0ing everybody else. And as the analyst said, like he's gone up against a Laser, he's gone up against Sorta, but nobody's really been a match for him. I know Zanster took a map earlier on in the group against him, but Reynor, he's already gone through a sickeningly good Terran in Special. So Reynor, he's already had his test and he's jumped over the hurdle. I'm really curious as to what's going to happen in this series.
I mean, both of them played in the same very matchup in the quarterfinals. Is there any of the two that you feel was maybe a little bit more convincing than the other and that you would give an edge to in the matchup, or is it more style-oriented in terms of who might be able to have the upper hand here?
So Reynor's so good against Bio, and one of the cool things about his games against Special, they weren't the cleanest games at all, as in he was actually pretty damn far behind and scrapped his way back with like phenomenal play. HeroMarine, I don't feel he's been tested yet. He's just been kind of Terminator moding everybody in his path. So as far as it goes, Reynor's definitely playing a high-level game, and that's because I've seen opposition stand up against him. But Reynor, like, or rather HeroMarine, nobody has yet.
Yeah. So there's an argument that maybe he's just that good right now that it's hard to actually test the man.
That's one of the things, right? Like, if you're just playing so darn well, and you can make your opponents look kind of bad against you in comparison, but they haven't been bad. They've been top-level Europeans.
Yeah.
Laser, I mean, he's a guy that he went to BlizzCon. He made top 4 BlizzCon one year, so definitely not bad at all. I think Gabe's just reaching another level of Terran.
That third archery was pretty fast, by the way. Like,
And he hasn't spotted it either.
Unable to prevent that. He might be thinking, why is your drone not going to the third base? Like, you should be trying to take that right now. But well, it's already going up, my friend, and right before your eyes.
It's also a weird third 2 take. This was a nice cancel and then a nice reapplication of the creep tumor, but this is the normal third location. So Big Gabe, upon seeing that, is probably like, oh gosh, is something really weird going on? So he's going to go back to the other third position. And this is one of the maps where you can pick between them, but the other third is obviously far safer.
Yeah.
Like, it's further away from your opponent. This could spell out aggression of some sort.
Yeah, we got Cloak now starting, as well as a Banshee here from HeroMarine. Stylistically, like, obviously HeroMarine, he'll play more bio, I think, than what we saw from Special earlier. And you mentioned that you think Reynor's really good against bio?
Actually, yeah, I think Gabe is probably going to stick to a lot of mech against Reynor.
Yeah.
Although, if we can take anything from that series, Reynor's definitely displayed that he's a lot better against mech than he used to be, because he used to forgo a lot of... oh, the Hellions are in the natural here, already getting 5 drones, and that Reaper was a good distraction. This is quite a lot of damage.
Yeah, already 7 drones dying. Let's see if he can get some more. 9 drones will fall total here.
That was beautiful with the Reaper, Todd, like totally distracting him there. For a second, actually, when the Zerglings left the Reaper, I was like, oh, why is he leaving it? But he made the right move to go back to the natural, but great play already from HeroMarine, and he's bringing the heat.
Yeah, I thought that when Reynor played against Special, by the way, he looked really good with, in particular, the Niduses and the Swarm Host. He made them so mobile, kept going from base to base, and he kind of made that style of mech just look like it wasn't even that viable. So do you feel like from seeing these games that maybe if you just optimize a little bit more and just execute better, you might be able to have success with that style? Or
a few of those games came down to like very small things, like a trade going in favor of one guy and not the other. This game, though, like he's made a lot of Hellions, so I think HeroMarine's often playing his opponent and kind of playing with his brain a little bit, because showing that you've thrown away 4 Hellions for 9 drones and then seeing 6 more Hellions, Reynor's going to be thinking he's against mech right now. I don't know how much he scouted of his main base, of his opponent, but I love the way that Gabe is playing.
yeah, double Cloak Banshee is going to fly right in there next to those overseers morphing right now. Reynor's going to get in position to defend. He has a Spore there. One single drone is going to fall here in the first place. But yeah, Reynor has no information across the map and no way to scout right now. Like, he's not even checking if it's barracks. He has no idea about the timing on the 3rd CC on the double eBay. Like, you can only guess so much in StarCraft 2.
Oh, this was a really good trade for HeroMarine already. I thought those Lings and the Banelings were going to get better connections, and now the drone line's under threat.
Wow, HeroMarine is really willing to sack this Alliance if he sees an opportunity to price some drones. Oh my god, so many of those were lined up here for a second. He's going to get 4 in total. Run towards the natural now. There's no Queen there. These Alliance are very low. And this, I think, is just going to be the initial 4.
Oh, the Banshees are still alive, though. Obviously, they're running low on mana, so they won't have the invisibility for too much longer, but getting a few drone kills here and there. And right now, I still believe that Reynor doesn't necessarily know what he's up against, but seeing these Marines behind the wall, I bet he's like, oh gosh, I'm against Bio. And the Evos only just start here, too.
Yeah, so upgrade-wise, HeroMarine is doing pretty well. These SCVs who are going away for a second, is going to have to bring them back.
Do you know what I also really like about this, Todd? Like, Reynor's no doubt seen the games of HeroMarine and studied him a little bit. And on this map, every time he's shown that he went for like this 2-base bio push kind of thing, be it an all-in or just a pressure build. This game, he changed it up dramatically.
Yeah, with the opposite almost. Double eBay, quick 3rd command center in the wall that's already completed.
And a Hellion opening, like Hellion Banshee at that. So Gabe, definitely the guy with a huge bag of tricks, but just this is the trademark of a good player. And now we have Marines and Medevacs on the other side of the map.
And I thought for a second he was going to scan and try to kill Cryptumers, but no. HeroMarine is against... He's fishing for a bigger game than this. He wants to go for the drones. He chases those away here inside of that base. Reynor, he's lacking Banelings here. He's morphing some of them, but Gabe's just going to evacuate for now, knowing that they were going to be imminent danger, and he needs to go back home and macro anyway. That 3rd base now fully set up for Big Gabe.
The aim of Gabe's play so far has been to kill drones and also deny mining. And you see from the supply, he's actually in a decent spot. Only like 10 ahead, and I know you might be thinking like, oh, well, that's just, 20 Lings or whatever. But that already is pretty significant for the Terran, especially with the 4th being quite late from the Zerg player.
Denying some creep nicely here. It's going to have to pick up in a second. He's still trading against those Lings. Maybe overextending a bit, or you think that's okay trades?
I think it's good. Did you see the sniping on the Banelings too? Like, he stayed against the wall, limited the surface area. That was actually a great trade for HeroMarine. He's playing so damn good right now. One thing that I've always felt that HeroMarine, like, if he missed anything, was his ability to just dare to dream. And right there, sniping those Banelings, that was sick play.
And again, pushing back those Cryptumers there. Relentless with this. As is Reynor, we're trying to get that out on the map with multiple Queens being active now. Reynor's saturated on the 4th base, but he's being pressured a lot right now by HeroMarine. He's definitely wearing his name well and using a ton of Marines here to be aggressive with it.
And he's getting quite a supply lead. And for this moment in time, he is actually 1-1 against 0-0. So Reynor just wants to buy time. He needs to survive against this. The Queen's already falling. 1-1 is about to finish, and that will be his moment to strike back. HeroMarine, he does have a lot of Marines, though. The Banelings are rolling in.
And now there are tanks behind this. HeroMarine's micro has been really good so far. He needs to find the splits. He's going to pull on all the way back. Trades against those Banelings. That last one, that was close.
Good defense by Reynor. Like, that was a moment where he really could have died. HeroMarine behind all this, getting +2, getting armor upgrades on mech too. I love this. A lot of players tend to get the attack upgrades, but if your tanks are
he's catching him in the middle.
Oh, is he?
Not paying attention for a
Does
second.
does get away. Reynor can't fight too much off creep, but he's just trying to force his opponent back so he can spread the creep in the first place.
Yeah, and Reynor confident enough to start the hive, start the 5th base, even though the creep's being pushed back all the time. He's gonna go for a run by inside of the 3rd base. There's some units nearby ready to defend here. With he spots the 4th command center and the additional factory.
This is the first time.
Do you like the heavy tank style against this?
I think it's better, yeah. Like the Hydras, and the Hydras are very good against the Widow Mines. Tanks in general are so good against the Hydras, and if you play a creep game where you're just pushing it back, the tanks lend such good support, and when it becomes a game of staying on the creep or staying off the creep, tanks are so important. By the way, 3 extra barracks being added too.
Yeah.
Like, Big Gabe's going to turn into a macro beast.
I was gonna say I'm very impressed with his macro. Like, he never really floats too many minerals.
Also opting for the tech labs on the extra barracks as well. So Marauders are going to be thrown into the mix. He's not just staying on a only Marine comp kind of thing. You tend to find a few Terrans do go for that. So he's already ready for the next stage, which is most likely Ultralisk to stay alive. But you see this from Reynor. He's taken a massive shortcut. He's skipping Ultras entirely. I think that's because he feels behind that he needs to, like, if he goes for Ultras, he's just going to be losing the war of attrition.
Yeah. And in this case, HeroMarine's still pressuring around the top, trying to push back the creep. Reynor already in position with a bunch of his units. The creep spread back in full effect with creep tumors being spread all over the place. I gotta say though, there's not too many overlords around the bottom side of the map. If there were to be a drop inside of Reynor's main base, I guess like the rush distance not that long, that he could come back and defense, but maybe one of the weaker points where HeroMarine could try and attack through, which so far it's not been all about those drops. It's mostly been attacks at the front.
The little bit of time that Reynor's bought, he's done a good job of spreading creep. Now, he has definitely caught up in supply, but we have another moment where he doesn't have +2 at all. In fact, it's about to finish right now, but Gabe's seizing his moment, moving out across the top of the map with a lot of tanks and a lot of bio, but there is still creep here. While he's killed the tumors, the creep takes a while to dissipate.
It's a pre-Viper timing here almost, where if those guys get some good blinding clouds on top of the tank, that's going to help Reynor tremendously.
Oh, I love how he's being so patient here. I know there's a few Marines running in, but just a small amount of them wants to bait him back into the tank fire. And if he can stand on the top of this ramp and accumulate his forces, he's going to have a really strong position. Look at this tank spread, by the way. Standing on the edge of the cliffs. Those Banshees stayed alive. Where have they been?
Chilling. On the other side of the map, I think, actually.
Oh, Reynor running in here, Todd.
Yeah, they've got a lot of Banelings here charging through. HeroMarine with great splits, pulling back the bio every single time. He's going to get a big cleanup with 3 tanks still left over, 4 tanks. Immediately he unsieges and he's going to go forward here.
Reynor
he dealt so well with his army.
Yeah, Reynor was hoping for so much more than that. Look, the Marauders at the front, the Marines at the back with the tanks. The Banelings, they don't get the connections they need. And HeroMarine, he's just rallying so much more across the top side of the map. And now he's in the exposed 4th base. The Banshees at the 5th base as well. HeroMarine is playing so darn good.
Wow, there is no spawn on the 5th base. That's a big mistake here. HeroMarine doing a ton of damage with those Banshees right now. 14 drones have died already, and there's going to be even more. By the way, he made 2 additional starports here and a fusion core behind this. So already thinking about the transition is HeroMarine, but he's doing so well with the initial push anyway. Look at his supplies, getting so far ahead.
And 24 drones fall. It's not as if his number is like absolutely depleted. He's down to 67, like he's still got a chance. Oh my gosh, 28? But the thing is, HeroMarine is taking real control of this game. The fact that he went and annihilated the economy of his opponent, and he's already ready for the next stage where he's going to add on Liberators, he's getting 3-3. Reynor's got to do a lot to hold on here.
Yeah, HeroMarine's looking really good here. Reynor will attack through the center. Is that a mistake? Everything's clumped up. These tanks gonna have a field day.
What is this, the siege tank flank? This is crazy by HeroMarine.
Yeah, coming in from behind with more and more. Reynor does not even know where to go anymore. He has to fight right now. He's being sieged all over the place.
Oh my gosh, look at this tank. Tanks in the north, tanks in the east, and he's just backing it up with so much Gabe. 4 medevacs in production, so he will be able to heal his army, but can Reynor hold on here? He's trying to get Broodlords out, but does he have the time?
He's pinned down on his side of the map here, down to 4 bases, and that hatchery is on fire. Drones are not even mining, he's gonna get right in there. Corruptors working on the medivac, even if he cleans up here. He's suffered tremendous losses. HeroMarine running from across the map here, reinforcing that location where 4 tanks are still holding strong. GG! HeroMarine with a fantastic game number 1. 24,000 resources lost for Reynor, 14,000 for HeroMarine. That was darn cost effective here from the German Terran.
You know, that micro from HeroMarine and his willingness to take fights was incredible. And I really thought, like, I know this is early to say anything, but I didn't know if it was like his previous opponents just not matching up to Gabe and, you know, just playing a bit subpar. But if that game is anything to go by, HeroMarine has reached another level.
He's gone Super Saiyan right before us. He's transformed into ginormous Gabe. Gabezilla. He's unraveling before us, the Muslim.
You know, he played so darn good that game. I love the fact that there hasn't been one build that he's been kind of resorting back to. He's been mixing it all the time. Like, he utilized really solid mech in earlier series, and here he displayed that he can absolutely play bio really darn well too, and go up against one of the best versus bio players there is, and he demolished him. He did.
So what do you think Reynor could have done better than in this case to be able to deal with these assaults here from the mid game?
There was a few things that went a little poorly earlier, right? Like the Reaper bait into the main and then losing the 9 drones. And then he dealt with the Banshees well, he dealt with that follow-up, but maybe there was a few fights off creep that he didn't expect HeroMarine to take as well as he did. Like that little skirmish with the Marines trading with the Lings and the Banelings, and he sniped the Banes. That's something that I haven't seen that much of Gabe before, but he did super well. And we are getting right on into this next game. Some hype music going on there, Todd. And spawning in the bottom right side, playing for Team Mouse Sports. As our blue Terran, we like to call him Big Gabe, but he is HeroMarine.
No, he's not. He's Big Gabe.
He should rename.
His opponent in the red, the Italian player, only 17 years old and already having some great results. It is Reynor. It's so impressive, only at 17 years old to already have had these results, already have won as much prize money as he did, and playing on the biggest of stage here in the WCS circuits.
Has he taken over you on StarCraft earnings yet?
Well,
I know
probably happened a long time ago. My StarCraft earnings are pretty pathetic. But yeah, it's just so impressive to me. You know, when I think back of when I was 17, like I wasn't playing on these big stages and already earning so much money.
I was dribbling at home and struggling with my homework, you know, but Reynor, he's definitely a good player. And Cyber Forest is a different beast, Todd. Like, this isn't a map where it's as easy to harass. New Repugnancy is definitely a decent map for Terran, and HeroMarine displayed why. He was very good at the harass, very good at taking map control, very good at fighting off creep and just getting rid of the creep. Cyber Forest, it's got a lot of chokes, which makes it very decent for infestors later on. It's also a bit gnarly for roach rushes and stuff, so I'm impressed with HeroMarine running across the map with an SCV, because that shows quite a lot of respect to your opponent. Often you don't scout with that.
Yeah, he wants to make sure nothing too funky and scary here is going to be happening early on. He's going to spot the very standard hatchery timing, the extractor and the spawning pool. And I mean, build order-wise, it feels like whenever HeroMarine can get away with getting a quick third command center, getting his upgrades going and, you know, kick into full macro mode, he always does really well. Does that encourage him to do that more, or is there maybe on 1 or 2 of those maps an opportunity to maybe use that image to play with a more aggressive build like we saw before?
That hatchery just got down by the Reaper tried to block it, but Gabe is a player that's known for getting up to 3 bases and then he's in his groove and he'll just make an army faster and bigger than any other Terran, but he's also just willing to be more patient than other Terrans, it feels like. He knows when he has a lead and he's very confident at all stages of the game. This game so far, his opponent taking the more triangular third. This is becoming slightly more standard. Before they used to be like very linear down the map. But again, this can lead to different things. Like this can be a sign of the Zerg wants to be aggressive later on. And back home, he's making Hellions, he's getting the Starport out. He's just being very, very standard, although he is making a Marine here.
Yeah, HeroMarine actually just canceled the add-on, yeah, to get that.
And that's pretty...
Maybe you wanted to make sure he can chase that Overlord away.
It can be like denying scouting, like denying the Overlord. It could also be any kind of like Hellbat follow-up if he keeps on making them, but doesn't look like he will be. I've seen him do this quite a bit where he then opts for a Fusion Core at some point, which is also a very, very nice and standard opening, and yeah, that's exactly what he's going to go for. So BC's on the menu, boys.
Got the snipe on the Creep Tumor there. And yeah, we have the Fusion Core starting. Is this one of the better maps for Battlecruiser?
I don't think there's a bad map for Battlecruisers, Todd. They are such a delight to use and a great unit that's come back. So he's only actually harassing with the 2 Hellions and the Reaper. And that's because he doesn't want any Zerglings to run up into his main or his natural and wreak havoc. So he's got the Hellions just rallied here and just keeping them behind.
Did you feel like the Battlecruisers did very well against the laser or in general?
They're just such a gnarly unit that can throw the Zerg off a little bit.
Yeah.
And the thing is, there's so many different ways to use them. Like, you can just get 1 BC only, and then it's like, oh, okay, you still need to respect the 1 BC. Is it going to be a follow-up? Oh, he's faking Cloak here. Oh, he stopped the BC entirely here, Todd. Or in fact, no, he hasn't even gone for it. But, oh, does he scout the Fusion Core? Did he scout it?
No.
No, okay. So he's expecting Cloak Banshee. Like, this could be pretty key in this game.
Yeah. Because now we've got Reynor getting spores pretty early. I mean, they can help against Battlecruiser, I guess, if the Battlecruiser stays still, but you can just fly away while shooting. So now this is 3 spores that are going to be fairly useless against this.
Todd, there's no 3rd CC. There's only 1 engineering bay, and there's 2 extra barracks in production. This is going to be like some crazy 2-base pressure, or maybe just 2-base all in. HeroMarine's going to be bringing it to Reynor. And yeah, a 4th gas starts as well before any sort of 3rd CC. This is going to be an all-in pretty soon. And Reynor, this is the kind of thing that you need to sniff out pretty darn early.
Yeah. And he's getting +1 as well. That's going to make it even scarier for the Marines here to have that. As HeroMarine is going for Stim. Where do you go with the Battlecruiser here, if you're a HeroMarine?
With a Battlecruiser, you can go like behind the natural and then float down, or you need to go for one of those bases along the side of the map just so the Queens can't get on top of you. Or he just goes here. This gives him an easy outing to the right side, I suppose. And also he's seen those Overlords there, so he can go back and deal with those later as well if he wants.
I guess towards the main base, the Queens are going to have to move back there to help against this. I guess the Spore does come in handy eventually here, but I mean, he grabbed that so early that it was less drones that were being made in the meantime. Well, these Overlords seem completely lost.
Oh, this is a massive grab, though, getting these Hellions, because with the support of the Marines and such, those Hellions can come in very handy at just deflecting the Lings entirely. So while this BC, and it's kind of distracting, there's a lot of things that Reynor's doing really correct. Like, he's still making a lot of units, but if he keeps on droning, I don't think he knows at all what he's going to be up against here.
When do you want to push here if you're HeroMarine? Do you wait for 3 tanks, 2 tanks? Like, because there is a timer on him, it does feel like, right?
Honestly, how many tanks does he have out so far? Does he even have 1 out? Okay,
one. Just got the first one.
I think it's one of those situations where you wait for 2. Oh my gosh, is Reynor going to try and plan on being aggressive against this?
HeroMarine just scanned the natural of Reynor, sees that the lair is not completed yet. He spotted the double Evo and the Baneling Nest. And look at the way, by the way, HeroMarine is keeping the units that he's making up his ramp.
But what is this, Todd? Like, he's Baneling busting against a guy that's going to 2-base all in it when he's on 4 bases. The good thing for Reynor, he's now seen that there's a huge army behind this. Now he needs to respond appropriately.
That was so well done by HeroMarine to hide that, and this might backfire for Reynor if he cannot get enough units. But this might play in his favor, yeah, because he realized what was happening. So now he's getting a ton of units. Centrifugal hooks now started. 12 Banelings as well. He's already mining quite a bit of gas. A ton of Lings are now going to start too.
And you see here, time is of the essence. He picks up the tank with the medevac.
Oh, he's going to rerun by.
Oh, that could be scary. Like, if he stops reinforcements against this all-in that he's up against, because he is on 4 bases.
Oh, he's going to come in from behind with Lings, actually.
That'd be really damn good too, yeah. He has to clear out this creep. Like, HeroMarine has to respect this creep. He really, truly does. And he is doing that, but Reynor's just... Every second is on Reynor's side. He's producing 30 Lings at a time, and he has units from every angle here, Todd. This could get really messy real fast.
It's only the 2 tanks on the high ground. Reynor, by sending units behind this, he covered the reinforcements, which are actually about to run into some of these Lings that were left behind for Reynor. He's buying time with the Queens. using transfusions, trying to get as many units out as he can. I think Centrifugal Hook is going to be the key point here too.
It's
to
going
make
to be
these Banelings quicker.
It's going to be super rough. Like, these Lings are stopping the reinforcements, which is really, really good. And Reynor, even though you might be thinking, like, why doesn't he just crush this army? Time is good for him. He's mining so much more, over 1,000 minerals per minute more than HeroMarine. And by the way, that Baneling speed is going to be online pretty darn soon.
Yeah, he just completed. Let's see if Reynor waits a little bit longer here. He's got a ton of Banelings and Links everywhere. He's going to come in from behind as well. We saw these Links, the Queens are going to get in, target down those Medivacs. He's got so many Links and Banes on the ground. He wipes out the entire army of HeroMarine, who's not just flying away with the one battle cruiser trying to catch the reinforcements. Tank getting caught in the middle of the map. HeroMarine is just completely outnumbered. And this has been defended here. Does Reynor go for the offensive? Or is he just happy cleaning this up?
It looks like he's pretty happy cleaning this up. I mean, this BC has definitely been going to town, but Reynor's so confident here. His economy, it's not been touched. He's on 4 bases. He's starting 2-2, an infestation pit. He's darn comfortable. The thing is, he's doing all the right things too. He's reapplying that creep, but he's also respecting his opponent. He isn't over-droning at all, just eking out a few of them.
And there's still no third command center for HeroMarine. Obviously, he could fly the one from the main base to a new base eventually when that's mined out. But for now, he's going to be very limited on the economy side of things compared to Reynor, who's got so many queens. They actually go to the center of the map and target down on those Medivacs.
I'm a tiny bit scared for Reynor in that his supply is equal to HeroMarine. And HeroMarine actually brought, did he bring out those SCVs just to repair? If so, that was a cool move. HeroMarine's definitely on a timer though. That 2-2, if that finishes for the Zerg, he's going to be in a dire bad spot.
He's very low on tanks. He has only 2. Reynor trying to catch the reinforcements. Oh, he's so good with this every single time with the Links. Quinn still buying time on the other side of the map. Using the transfusion swipe. Reynor is morphing more and more Banelings, going up to 19 right now. And the 2-2 will complete here very soon. Ideally for HeroMarine, he'd like to fight before that.
The thing for HeroMarine is he knows how good Reynor engaged that last time. Now, the Liberators can only be shot by the Queens. Look at this again, Todd, from 4 angles here. Reynor's moving in.
Yeah, Links are gonna sweep in. Banelings. HeroMarine forced to pick up and evacuate the Queens, doing a ton of damage here. But it's just the battlecruiser tanking most of it. Links are gonna get right back on where those Medivacs dropped all of the bio. And this gets cleaned up again.
Todd, this battlecruiser has 42 kills this game. He is truly the MVP, but Reynor, there's just too much of him. The Liberators get cleaned up. Oh, and 2-2 is finishing. I think as soon as HeroMarine sees that, he's going to take a big gulp and realize that his bio is no longer a match.
And it's so hard to tell yourself that you're going to slow down. HeroMarine knows that there is a 4th base. He was being offensive towards it right now. He's only on 2 bases. Hive is about to finish. Burrow's on the way now for Reynor. He's covering all of his bases. Ultralis Cavern is going to go down.
Ultralis Cavern, he's getting 2 base all in. This is crazy from Reynor. The thing is, he's been holding really well, but he's kind of been overextending a little bit, wasting a few Lings. The SCVs do join, and that BC, yeah, it has to stay alive. Up to 49 kills now.
We're targeting the hatchery just right above this here with some Marines. Kind of forcing Reynor to go there while the tank on the high ground are shooting. Gets rid of the Medivac here, very nicely done. And again, Reynor getting ready behind this with the Zerglings. He's so smart because he cuts off reinforcements. 28 Zerglings in production right now for Reynor. He's going to go for it.
And from every angle, and yet again, the Zerglings, they're going to try and trap the Marines against the Banelings. They do a pretty darn good job trying to unsiege, trying to get out of here now. HeroMarine actually saves his tanks, which was a really cool play. Still has a lot of Marines on the right side. What is this game right now?
The battlecruiser up to 52 kills. The army on the ground of HeroMarine getting wiped out. He has to pick up. Only the Liberators are kind of left awkwardly by themselves right now, with the one battlecruiser still putting in work. He drops down on the low ground to try and bait everything into those Liberators. Queen still holding strong.
Oh, this is so dicey. I mean, Reynor, he can't let that army siege up close to him. And his army is definitely better upgraded. 7 Corruptors on the way, though. That will make an end of these Liberators. And after HeroMarine sees that, what will he do? What can he do?
He's targeting down the Corruptors actually with Marines, but Links on the ground are going to reign supreme thanks to their 2-2 upgrades. Trying to reinforce across the map. HeroMarine is losing a lot right now. Reynor never really overextending. He pulls back every single time he feels it's getting a little bit unsafe. Tries to use his reinforcements to the best of their capability. Oh my god, these bailing shots.
Wow.
And he's just going to clean up. Reynor holds on and ties up the series.
That was very impressive play by both of them. HeroMarine went for a rather unorthodox all-in, but we've seen him utilize that quite a bit. And Reynor, he didn't really have much idea it was coming. Then he went for a Baneling bust against the all-in, but then that also revealed the Marines, like the heavy amount of Marines behind. So it actually kind of paid off, even though technically it shouldn't have been a good move, but it turned out very good for him. The plan was then revealed and HeroMarine had to go, 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 but I don't think he was ready to really unleash just then. Nice play, nice game.
Yeah, I feel like there was a good idea here in HeroMarine's build, but I feel like the tank counts is something that he didn't start working on very early. If he had done the same push and he had 4 tanks and a few less Marines, I feel like it would have been maybe a lot stronger. And even though like it's a weird thought to consider that he had a battlecruiser with like 60 plus kills this game and he still lost the game.
Yeah, like the overall resources lost tab at the end there was like 17k for Reynor and like 13k for HeroMarine. So he definitely traded very well. The thing is, Reynor was just mining way more the whole game.
Yeah.
And he was up to 4 bases. Like, he was so confident to take an Ultralisk Cavern and such at the end. He even had a Spire to get out the Corruptors and stuff to deal with the Liberators. I think Reynor made a lot of really good moves. And the fact that he kept on closing in on that army from 4 angles there, that was beautiful.
Yeah, even cutting out the reinforcements. All right. Epic music is cued. Let's jump into map number 3 here. We're going to be playing on Kairos Junction. And starting in the top left-hand side, playing as the Blue Terran, representing Mousesports in Germany, it is Gabe Zilla, aka HeroMarine.
And the man, the myth, the legend. He's burst onto the scene in a crazy way, looking to finally take out Serral, possibly, in the final. But first he has to get through HeroMarine. It is Reynor.
Definitely looked a lot better in that second game.
It was a different person.
Yeah, deflecting all of the attacks that were being thrown his way. But obviously had a lot to do with the way HeroMarine was playing, which was not quite the way we mentioned earlier, where you take 3 bases, and then you said it very well. I like the term you use. He gets into his groove when he's on 3 bases. But I do think it's very strong to throw in some different attacks and timings that the opponent might not expect.
Absolutely.
Especially in the best of 5.
Yeah, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And after he did take the first game very, very convincingly, I think it's good to show your opponent, look, I can actually do anything. You can't just get away. And like, let's say he's actually 2-up or 2-0 up in this series from that strategy. Reynor would then have to play so safe and careful. So HeroMarine's definitely playing the series as well as the player. It's just unfortunate that it didn't work out, but sometimes that's StarCraft. Sometimes you run into a beast that does everything correct, which Reynor did.
How about Kairos Junction for Terran vs. Zerg? Because like on this map, one of the bigger differences with most other maps is the way it's set up around the 3rd, 4th, and 5th base, right? Which are like kind of like in an arc around your natural.
It's definitely a nice base, or rather a nice map for both players to get like 3 bases, 4 bases. It's a good macro map. One thing that has been utilized over the past 6 months is this weird push where you have like Marines, tanks very early on with a Banshee as opposed to like Hellions and such to take out the 3rd base. And I know that HeroMarine does like to play that build. So far though, he's just being very, very normal, very safe, getting a Reaper out, getting the Factory and Reactor behind it.
Would the 5th base be considered a little bit harder to take?
For Terran or for Zerg?
Either, because it's like a little bit more towards the center if that's the one you want to go for.
It kind of depends how they want to do it. This Reaper's already being annoying, but nice save with the drone as the extractor. It's like, does Zerg want to go all the way up the map and then take the more triangular base as their 5th, or it's a toughie. But we'll see what Reynor tends to go for. I do like how Zerg's also, they've been laying this creep tumor more like behind that pillar kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like it's out of vision usually. This one was a bit more Larry, but usually out of vision, then spreading it along the top, closer to their 3rd. Just nice evolution of players using creep and also using the terrain to their advantage.
Again, we're seeing HeroMarine with the quick starports. Very standard there. As he's going to go for an additional tech lab beyond the factory.
Oh, Todd, I talked about this. So one thing that might be exposed here, if we see the rocks at the 3rd of Reynor, getting tanks behind this and using Marines to support, you can really hammer on that 3rd base. And it's a build that I've seen HeroMarine use before. I think Innovation or TY, one of the true greats from Korea, started utilizing this, but it's a scary build. It's also one that needs a very specific response.
Is he going to have enough gas for everything? Because he starts Cloak and a Banshee. I guess that's going to delay the tank a little bit.
Oh, a tiny bit, but I don't think there's any point getting the third gas too early. Normally you can pump out Banshees and tanks in unison just from the 2 gases.
Yeah, the creep spread is already going well here around the natural base of Reynor, working very hard on that. I mean, everybody is consistently in StarCraft 2 pushing the limits of how well they're playing. Their mechanics are always getting better, and I really feel like right now, every single top Zerg is just so incredibly good, whether it's with the injects, all the creep spread. They're so consistent.
I remember for a while we all talked about Scarlet's creep spread being the best and stuff, and we talked about the weakness of certain players with their lack of creep spread. Stefano at one point, he had some of the worst in the biz, but he was the best at everything else. But then he turned it around and became one of the best in the biz. But now everybody's caught up because it's so important to get it out. The third and fourth gas still haven't been taken, and one of the reasons for that is he is going to get up a third at some point. This isn't a super all-in build, it's just a pressure build. It's one of those things to try and slow down as Zerg. Reynor, he's droning up pretty well. He's getting the Spore Crawlers up at a good time. This one just done. He does lose one drone, obviously, but that was literally a matter of seconds before that Spore went up.
If the Queens had been in position, actually, they might have been able to do a little bit of extra damage for this, but not necessarily kill it. The third command center going down now for HeroMarine, so even though he's going for that tank push here that you theorized, not going to be committing like last game on 2 bases for too long here, as they will look to keep on expanding behind this. And most likely go for bio, I guess, right?
Yeah, I think so. Like, honestly, it could be a lot of follow-ups. The fact that he's taking double gas, it's going to be double armory, I think. Yeah, and it absolutely is. But you can do a lot of follow-ups behind this. Look how Reynor's moving out with these links instantly, by the way. And that is oh my gosh, they just run in. That is not meant to happen.
Yeah, and SCV is going to be exposed immediately. HeroMarine barely has any units. He's got the 1 Banshee. A ton of SCVs are going to die here. Already 4 dying. The Mule was right in there as well.
Now he is pressuring this. Oh, the Baneling's card. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. Reynor just completely crushed this. I mean, even what's left here cannot really deal any economic damage. Reynor's going to get the cleanup. That was perfectly timed here. Gets the run by, knows that HeroMarine is looking across the map, and then crashes into this army with the Banelings. I thought HeroMarine was going to lose more, to be fair, SCV-wise. He only lost 6, but that's still a decent amount.
To say that many Zerglings got in, yeah, he did a good job not taking too much damage. The thing is, that was a lot of lost mining time, and a lot of that just wasn't meant to happen. And then he felt very rushed, so he didn't set up the tanks behind the rocks or anything like that. He was like, you can't have that much back at home if you've assigned all that to take out my economy. But the thing is, he did. He had a lot of units. Reynor did everything correct there.
And now 2 additional factories are going to start. We're going to be seeing mech here from the German Terran. He's already got the 1 armory. If you wanted to go for some of these upgrades. 2 more factory actually even behind this. Gonna start in the main base, going up to 5 pretty quickly.
Reynor can often make you feel very stupid as a player, because it's like, why'd I leave that depot down? And it's like, well, if you had that depot up and those lings are hitting that wall, you deal so much damage on the other side of the map. Reynor does take a lot of gambles in his play, but he's so fast and so quick that a lot of them do pay off.
Yeah, the Banshees on the top right-hand side going to be spotted here. Taking a look at the eyesight of Reynor.
Man, Zerg see a lot, huh? With that creep. Okay.
Yeah, pretty fast too.
Yeah, certainly. By the way, Reynor already up to that drone count, 82. A bit of a magic number nowadays. I know a lot of people are, oh, these lings, they could do quite a bit of damage. There's only 3 Hellions here. Okay, more Hellions join.
The 1 Baneling, he's going to connect against these SCVs.
Baneling with a dream.
Those are some good trades for Reynor for sure.
Yeah, any kind of economic damage done when he's mining so much more than his opponent is good damage. And keeping all those Hellions on the other side of the map, Reynor's playing a really good game. It's kind of weird that he's opting for the armor upgrades in yet again, but
So how does Battle make those here as we see a Macfield Accelerator being researched against this Ling Hydralisk Bane army?
It's an upgrade you always have to get because you don't necessarily know what you're up against, but there are certain units that it does do well against. Unfortunately for him, none of the units being made on the field right now will help it out, but it will be better against buildings. The thing is, he's so far behind in supply right now that he's just going to be sharking around looking to deal damage, and he sees that this creep is running absolutely wild.
That creep spread is absolutely out of control.
Yeah.
Like, it feels almost useless to try and deny it now. Like, he's going to kill, what, the tumors in the center. The Queens are going to replant them right back. And the Banshees, that's it. No more map control for you. No more flying around. No more killing anything.
That feeling when you scan which costs money, by the way, because that's not a mule. You kill 1 tumor and lose 2 banshees. That feels bad, man. Okay, so he does have like a little bit of a Cyclone army here. He scans and sees how many Banelings is this morphing? 23. We see 20 or 50 more Zerglings in production. Now, oh, he's actually opting for like +2 armor here too. There's a lot of funny upgrade choices from Reynor. Maybe he absolutely knows something that I don't, but this is a lot of Reynor moving across the map, and he's just pumping his creep spread forward.
And Reynor might be about to go for the assault here. HeroMarine, he's on the high ground. Reynor streaming from every single direction. Zergling, Banelings, Hydra is going to connect on top of this army. HeroMarine can't even get away at this point. Banelings are going to crash into this, and there is so much left over for Reynor, who just takes the win in less than 10 minutes in map number 3.
This, game 2 and 3 have been a totally different story. Reynor, he is Hulk smashing HeroMarine in this game, and their supplies, yes, Reynor did have more. It was like 170 against 130, but by the end of that game, he was still on like 160, 170.
He's going to start flexing on us.
Oh, he is. What can't this man do? HeroMarine, you know, he's looking, still looks calm, still looks calculated, but after having your play just so easily dismantled by 1 lower depot, that definitely hurts.
It's really hard, right? Because you don't have the vision around that area. Like depots can only see so far, but it was just so perfectly timed by Reynor. I guess you kind of have to anticipate it. Obviously, Reynor, he must have had a Ling outside of the wall that spotted the move out. So as soon as you see that, you should know that maybe Lings are going to counterattack. But again, I mean, we see everything, and we're backseat gaming here from the casting desk, the Muslim.
Yeah, like
it's very hard to do in theory.
In my head, like my Walker 3 brain switches on, where I'm like, maybe Terrans in the future will place 1 depot further ahead just for vision. Because like a little red blip on the minimap, if you see it in the corner of your eye, then you can react to lift the depot up. Obviously, it's a sacrificial depot that you put out, but maybe that kind of evolution of Terran could help out in the future.
Yeah, because you can't really justify going for something like a sensor tower this
no,
early on.
No, it costs as much as a tank, Todd. It's crazy. But yeah, Big Gabe stirring in his thoughts here. He's like, okay, what am I going to do against this guy? Like,
yeah, Reynor on your screen here. He's got all the momentum in the world. Only 17 years old, but already one of the best StarCraft players out there. Looking to try and make his way into the grand finals here. Starting in the northwest, playing as the blue Terran. He needs your support. He needs to come back in his series to try and tie up the score. It is Germany and Mouseboss HeroMarine.
Took a really good game 1, but suffered early in game 2 and 3. And spawning in the bottom right side, playing for Gamers Origin as the Red Zerg, it is the Italian Phenom, it is Reynor.
What 6 semifinals are we getting?
We've been blessed so far.
Every single race represented 4 of the absolute best in Europe, not just HeroMarine and Reynor, but we got Showtime and Cyril on the other side, which I'm salivating thinking about. Matchup is going to be amazing.
We truly are blessed. Like, HeroMarine's done a damn good job getting here. Reynor, that series against Special truly was magnificent. And if you haven't seen any of the other games, guys, the quarterfinals match of Cyril versus Neeb, it lived up to its name.
So how about the pull first there of Reynor?
Pull first? Maybe you can be thinking, it's all about thinking what your opponent's going to do. Like, this could definitely be a map where Proxy 2 Rax is very, very strong.
Especially being down 2 maps now,
yeah, he could pull that out, but also, like, I know he suffered very greatly to Special on this map when he did the Proxy 2 Rax and then into Reapers after the initial bunker rush. So maybe he was just thinking, I don't want to play against any of those kind of shenanigans again, so we'll just cut that out early. And I'm playing so well in the last few games that even if I take a bit of an economic hit here, it's all right.
Yeah. It's good thinking. Like a lot of players, when they start falling behind on the scoreboard, you know, they will resort to more extreme measures, aka all-ins. I remember actually once upon a time I played 4GG in WCS Premier League, and I almost never cheesed back then. And in game 2 I cheesed, and he was like, well, I just thought that you had lost the game and you were very likely to cheese in his spot, so I scouted for it, and he scouted it and crushed it. I was like, oh, yeah, good point. I didn't think of that before.
No, like StarCraft 2, it's a lot about how fast you are and the builds that you choose, but it's also knowing that you are playing another guy with a brain, and how good is his brain? Because right now these Lings have bypassed that Reaper on the map.
So he not only did a build that would have been better against something like a proxy, but that he can now be aggressive with and delay that second command center. SCV is going to try to run away. Oh my god, he finds his way up the ramp here, does Reynor. SCV is being pulled off the line, that Marine being targeted down. It's gonna fall!
Or is that the HeroMarine? that he needs right now. But is it all in vain, though? He runs back for these Lings. Is staying alive. By the way, the reason that... Oh, my gosh.
The second command center is still not being produced, so even though this is a nice hold, HeroMarine needs to dispatch one single SCV. Does that. Reaper's back home now to defend. In the meantime, Reynor is going to be producing as many drones as he can, and this finally has been defended. 6 Slings were killed in exchange for one single Marine, but that second command center was definitely delayed a good amount.
One of the nice things for Reynor here, though, going for that Marine, it does deny the ability to deny the Overlord scouting. So this Overlord could actually sit above the factory, sit above the starport, sit above the barracks, and just kind of see what's coming out of these buildings, just to confirm and see what add-ons are being made. A Roach Warren goes down. I think Reynor's feeling pretty good this game.
Especially like when you look at the location, it's at the back of the natural where it's going to be extremely hard to spot. Like nobody would have scanned here, let alone send any unit to scout it. Do you think he might be going all in?
Oh, I think he definitely could be. The fact that he's making another queen might signal that he's not, but he's definitely not droning up very hard at all. And he is saving up gas, and what's it going to be used for? Keeping the Lings at the back too.
And yeah, we've got the fusion core on the other side being produced.
It's at least going to be one of those pushes where it's like, you know, 8-ish roaches with quite a few speedlings possibly. Maybe he just wants to scare his opponent, but if he does go balls to the wall and just goes massive all in, his opponent's actually going for a BC build here, and that's going to take quite some time to get out.
Yeah, that's right. He does have speed, actually. So 7 roaches for now, additional Zerglings. Going to be going up to 14 here in a second. 3 queens are already out here for Reynor. And then from there, he can choose whether he wants to go back into droning. Already having the additional queen, by the way, for the 3rd base is amazing. Like, as soon as that finishes, boom, inject. Get those extra lavas.
And we see it's going to be nothing but Lings in production for a while.
He's staying on 30 walkers. He's committing so much to this. Battlecruiser now on the way for HeroMarine. He's getting a ton of Hellions.
Does HeroMarine know that any of this is going on? Like, I don't think he does at all. There's no bunker at the back. He has one thing where he's kept his Hellions at home.
He's about to find out here.
Oh, and I think HeroMarine, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. One Hellion takes a big brute force volley from these roaches. And there are a lot of Lings kept back behind all this, by the way. Like right now, maybe he just thinks like, what's this Plonker doing? He's just got roaches in my base. But no, the Lings come out and these SCVs, they actually just mineral walk through it. So he keeps them alive.
Yeah,
but now, the wall's down, Todd.
Yeah, the wall is down. Lings are going to get right on top of these Hellions here. The Battlecruiser is still not out just yet. The entire army of HeroMarine is going to evaporate. Battlecruiser is going to have to clean everything up by itself. SCVs going to war. Some more Hellions come out, and the wall's going to go down. So Reynor is going to keep on streaming in there with more and more Zerglings.
And it's all well and good planting mules, but you're losing everything right now, down to 15 workers. And I think it's just going to keep on dropping. Reynor tearing HeroMarine apart. GG. Reynor moves on after dismantling HeroMarine.
Makes it to the grand finals in very convincing fashion. Dropped map number 1, stage focused. And it was the perfect from there from the Italian player.
Yeah, I was a bit worried for him after the first game because HeroMarine, he looked like the better player in that first game. But man, does this 17-year-old show sheer force of will. That was great play by him, and what a way to bounce back into this series.
What a performance. Let's go and hear from the man himself who's on the stage with Smigs.
Thank you very much, Todd. Congratulations, Reynor. Not only do you make it to the grand finals here at WCS Summer, you do so taking down HeroMarine and getting revenge for that loss at Home Circup. Has to feel good.
Yeah, it feels really good. I wasn't planning on losing the first map, but you know, the aliens got in, the Banshee killed some drones, and the aliens got in again. So yeah, it wasn't the perfect map, but I think I did well after. Like I saw the all-in coming since the 3rd CC was in the wall, so I was kind of thinking about it. So yeah, I think it went well, yeah.
HeroMarine was talking about how he feels his style works really well against a lot of European Zergs, including yourself, because he does that BC into mech style, which not a lot of other European Terrans do. So personally for yourself, did you what was that preparation like? Do you feel comfortable going against that style?
Yeah, I don't mind playing versus BCs. Especially the last game, I knew he wanted to go BCs. So I just did an all-in right before the BC spawn. So you know, it's a bit predictable if you do it many times. So I think there's a counter. So it's, yeah, I just learned to play against it.
Well, for the grand finals, it's very interesting because it's going to be either Serral or Showtime. And now, this is really, really interesting to note because Serral is the only player to have continually eliminated you from WCS events. So there's a huge possibility for revenge there. So would you rather face him for that shot at revenge, or would you rather face Showtime?
Of course I want to play Serral.
I love to hear that. This audience here loves to hear that. Congratulations once again with that. Reynor is moving forward to the grand finals.